The city of Westfield recently received a $1.35 million payment from the U.S. Air Force. That money was initially spent by city leaders responding to accidental PFOA contamination of the city water supply by the Air Force. In recent years, some Westfield residents have banded together to protest the contamination and push for a proper cleanup. I asked Kristen Mello, a founding member of Westfield Residents Advocating for Ourselves, or WRAFT, her reaction to the payment.
We're very pleased that this has moved forward. It was a great effort by the city, the law department, the water department, and members of the National PFAS Contamination Coalition who worked together to get the amendments in place for the National Guard to be able to reimburse us.
Now, with Westfield receiving this $1.35 million, there's been a little back and forth at the city council level in terms of how to use the money.
Right.
Do you have thoughts on how you would like to see the city use this settlement?
I would really like to see the bond that we have taken out start to be paid back with the settlement, but
$13 million, right?
Right,
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit afraid that the projects that we have are going to end up going over. So I am waiting to see exactly how that will pan out.
So those are two of the sort of ideas that have been on the table. One that you mentioned, to pay back a portion of that $13 million that has been spent,
Right.
but also the other portion, there's a proposed filtration system, and the cost associated with that, there's a certain number, but unsure the final price tag on that, right?
Right, and the filtration up at wells 7 and 8 are proving to be very challenging, and with the state's new limits that they've just sent out, we need to make absolutely certain that everything is compliant, if not completely safe, and so that may end up running over.
The wells 7 and 8 that you mentioned, the city had hoped to have those up and running by this past Labor Day.
Yes.
As you know, though, that is not the case right now.
Right.
There's been some question about alkalinity and some other challenges with the water.
Correct.
But as I understand from Meeting in Mass Live, the city's now kind of holding off until April when water use would be more in need. What do you think about the city's decision to do that?
We're very grateful. We went to the city and asked both the Water Commission and the Public Health Department, the Board of Health, to please hold off on installing, putting these wells back online, because we know that the GAC filtration will only take out all of the PFAS for a very short period of time. And we know that a tremendous number of PFAS went into that water, and that we're only really controlling for 6. And so non-detect for 6 out of hundreds, we do not feel is protective of the public health. So the longer these wells stay offline, as long as we have the water to handle emergencies and need, the longer those two stay out of commission, the happier we will be.
And when you say protecting for 6, you mean that there are many, many sort of variants of this chemical, is that right?
Well, the PFAS, the per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, are a class of chemicals. There are about 5,000 currently in commercial use. There are many more that exist, and there are precursors, which are chemicals that turn into these compounds that are in the water as well. So when you find a PFAS in your water, you very rarely only find one, and it's all of these others that we are also concerned with, that there's no regulation on at all.
And so will there be? Are people working toward finding that regulation?
Very much so. The National PFAS Contamination Coalition, of which WRAFT is a member, we're trying very hard to get PFAS regulated as a class of compounds, so that not just one, not just PFOA, not just PFOS, not just those two, but that all PFAS would be treated the same.
Now, with the settlement that the city agreed to receive from the U.S. Air Force, my understanding is officials have said that that will not impact the federal lawsuit that the city of Westfield has joined with some other communities that are dealing with this same or a similar challenge related to the use of this foam that had the chemicals in it.
Correct.
Do you believe that to be the case? Are you concerned that taking the settlement, the $1.35 million, might in some way complicate that case?
I don't think so. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't believe so. Originally speaking, we were told that the National Guard could not reimburse the city because the Secretary of Defense could not enter into agreements about that kind of reimbursement with municipalities, that they could only do it for Air Force bases but not National Guard bases. And so that amendment that we pushed for got National Guard bases included. And so now, just like Pease Air Force Base or Colorado, we can work together with them and still end up with the law department trying to recoup the other losses. We have a permanently contaminated water supply. That's a huge loss to the city of Westfield and the people that live there.
Do you foresee a time in Westfield where you won't be using the current city water source because of that contamination?
Well, the south side of the city has water sources that do not have PFAS in it, so I know that the city will be using non-PFAS sourced water. I hope that there will come a time where we have an alternate water source, or find a well location in the north side that does not have any PFAS in it, but that's a long road.
Westfield Residents Advocating for Themselves, WRAFT, the organization that you launched almost 2 years ago now, was a very localized effort initially. But I've noticed on your Facebook page that more and more you're connecting with people all over the country on this issue.
Yes.
Did you ever anticipate that to be the case?
Not when we started, no. It was just a group of neighbors in my living room, and we just thought we needed to go speak to the mayor and the city council, and thought that it might be a very localized episode. But the more we found out, the more we tried to find out what other communities have done when they discovered their PFAS contamination. We connected with testing for peas up in, the peas trade port up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, the people in Pennsylvania, up at the Warminster, Colorado, North Carolina, Florida. I even have colleagues in Japan and Guam.
Wow.
Yeah.
What inroads have you made, if any, having that advocacy of the many, many people now across the country, and even, as you said, internationally?
It's very useful in that Australia and countries in Europe are using non-fluorinated foams now as the regular. So as they are getting results and having actual emergencies and having the non-fluorinated foams work, we're getting that information almost immediately because of the internet and the way we're connected. So the more that we see other countries, other groups, Seattle, Washington, they're not using PFAS at their airport. We have options that we didn't know existed, and because of this connectivity, we can share that together. We can share information from the DoD and the EPA as immediately as it comes out.
Because there's a bit of a catch-22 right now, even though we've learned as a society that these can be dangerous, and there's certainly contaminated water in Westfield and elsewhere. They're still allowed in emergency situations, right?
Sure. Yes, and other situations. So PFAS are included in medical devices, right? And this aqueous film forming foam that is still required to be used at airports that have FAA certification and in Department of Defense installations. Some firehouses are still using it, not all, but anyone that has these military or FAA certifications is required to use this foam. And so, like when they had the crash in Connecticut, there was no other option. They had to use it, and it literally polluted their water so much so that you can still see it.
For you, where does this issue go next?
I was just elected to the city council, so it goes to city council chambers with me, which is interesting because that would not have been my original, I never thought that would happen. But so it's going to the city council chambers. We just got back from Boston. We're asking for state legislation to help us have more informed consent, to know who in Massachusetts is polluting with PFAS in the air, in the soil, in the water, where it is in terms of our water supplies and compost and biosolids, right? Because if you use the biosolids from wastewater treatment plants of communities that have PFAS, there will be PFAS in those biosolids, and then they're sold to farms. And then the food grown can end up absorbing the PFAS from the soils. So these are forever chemicals. They're in the water, they're in our bodies, they're out of our bodies, they're in plants, they go back in our bodies. We need to find a way to be completely informed about where it's coming from, what makeup it's in, what other, the bottled water that New Hampshire tested, found it in several in New England. So we really need to know where it all is and then turn off the tap, find ways to stop the exposure.